Chapter 11. Beware of the popes. I have heard that the Pope, addressing the youth in Latin America, said, "My dear ones, beware of the devil. The devil will tempt you with drugs, alcohol, and most particularly premarital sex." Now, who is this devil? I have never met him. He has never tempted me. I don't think any of you have ever met the devil, or that he has tempted you. Desires come from your own nature. It is not some devil who has tempted you. But it is a strategy of religions to throw the responsibility on an imaginary figure, the devil, so you don't feel you are being condemned. You are being condemned, but indirectly. The Pope is saying to you that you are the devil, but he has not the guts to say that. So he is saying that the devil is something else, a separate agency, whose only function is to tempt people. But it is very strange. Millions of years have passed and the devil is not tired. He goes on tempting. And what does he gain out of it? In no scripture have I found what is his reward for all this arduous work for millions of years. Who is paying him? By whom is he employed? That is one thing. And the second, is not your God omnipotent? That's what your scriptures say, that God is all-powerful. If he is all-powerful, can't he do a simple thing? Just stop this devil from tempting people, rather than going to every person and telling every person, don't be tempted by the devil. Why not finish this one devil, or whatsoever he wants, give it to him? This is something to be decided between God and the devil. What business is it of ours to be unnecessarily trampled between these two? God has not been able in millions of years to convince the devil, or to change the devil, or to finish the devil. And if God is so powerless before the devil, what about his poor people, to whom these representatives of God go on saying, don't be tempted by the devil? If God is so powerless and impotent before the devil, what can ordinary human beings do? For centuries, these people have been telling these lies, and not even once have they themselves tried to be responsible. Be aware, the devil is going to tempt you. In fact, this man has put the temptation already in the minds of these people. They may not have been thinking right then of drugs, alcohol, premarital sex. They had come to listen to the Pope, to some spiritual sermon. They will go back home thinking of premarital sex, how to get tempted by the devil, where to find the drug dealers. But alcohol is certainly not a temptation of the devil, because Jesus Christ was drinking alcohol, not only drinking it, but making it available to his apostles. Alcohol is not against Christianity. Christianity accepts alcohol perfectly, because to deny alcohol would be putting Jesus in jeopardy. Jesus was not a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. He enjoyed drinking, and he has never said that drinking is a sin. How could he say it? Now the Pope seems to be far more religious than Jesus Christ. And I can certainly visualize that if the only begotten Son drinks, the Father must be a drunkard, and the Holy Ghost too. These people may be the cause, because from where did Jesus learn? Certainly the devil could not tempt him. We know that the devil used to try to tempt him, and he said to the devil, "Get behind me, I am not to be tempted by you." But these people seem to be mentally sick. You never come across the devil, and you don't talk with the devil this way. Get behind me and let me go on my way. Don't prevent me, don't try to tempt me. And if you do say these things and somebody hears, he is going to inform the nearest police station. Here comes a man who is talking to the devil, and we don't see any devil anywhere. Jesus is also contaminated by the rabbis and the priests. It is the same company, just with different labels and different trademarks. But the business is the same. The company is the same. Their work is the same. They corrupt human beings. They destroy your innocence. This Pope is worried about premarital sex. It must be on his mind. Otherwise, how can this warning come out of it? And that is his most emphatic point. But what is wrong with premarital sex? It was a problem in the past, but have you entered into the 20th century or not? It was a problem in the past because sex can lead to pregnancy, to children, and then the problem will arise of who is going to bring up those children. Then who is going to marry that girl who has a child? So there will be complications and difficulties. There need not be. It is just in the mind. In fact, most marital difficulties arise because premarital sex is denied. It is as if you are told that until you are 21, you cannot swim. Don't be tempted by the devil. Pre-adult swimming is a sin. Okay, one day you will become 21, but you don't know how to swim. And thinking that now you are 21, you are allowed to swim, you jump into the river. You are jumping to your death. Because just by becoming 21, there is no necessity. There is no intrinsic law that you will be able to swim. And when are you going to learn? What actually are these people saying? They are saying that before entering the river, you should learn to swim. If you enter the river, you are committing a sin. But where are you going to learn to swim? In your bedroom? On your mattress? For swimming, you will need to go to the river. There are Aboriginal tribes that are far more human, natural, where premarital sex is supported by the society, encouraged because that is the time to learn. At 14 years of age, the girl becomes sexually mature. At 18 years of age, the boy becomes sexually mature. And the age is going down as human societies become more scientific, technological. The food is sufficient and health is taken care of, and the age goes on forward. In America, girls become mature earlier than in India. And of course, in Ethiopia, how can you become sexually mature? You will die long before. In America, the age has fallen from 14 to 13 to 12 because physically people are more energetic, have better food, a more comfortable life. They become sexually mature early, and they will also be able to function longer than in poor countries. In India, people simply cannot believe when they read in the newspapers that some American at the age of 90 is going to get married. The Indians cannot believe it. What is happening to these Americans? By the time an Indian is 90, and he has been in the grave almost 20 years, only his ghost can get married, not he. And even if they are in their bodies, a 90-year-old person marrying a woman who is 87, just great. Simply unbelievable. And they go on a honeymoon. They are really very practiced. They have done this all their lives, many times, getting married, going on a honeymoon. And they have been fortunate enough so that in one life they have lived at least 5, 6, 7 lives. Premarital sex is one of the most important things to be decided by human society. The girl will never be more alive sexually than she is at the age of 14, and the boy will never be so sexually alive as he is at the age of 18. When nature is at its peak, you prevent them. By the time the boy is 30, you allow him to get married. He is already declining in his sexuality. In his life energy, he has already on the decline. He is losing interest. Biologically, he is already 14 or 16 years late. He has missed the train long ago. It is because of this that so many marital problems arise and so many marital counselors thrive, because both partners have passed their peak hours, and those peak hours were the time when they could have known what orgasm is. Now they read about it in books and they dream of it, fantasize about it, and it doesn't happen. They are too late. The popes are standing in between them. I would like to say to you, don't be tempted by the popes. These are the real evil ones. They will spoil your whole life. They have spoiled the lives of millions of people. When you are 30, you cannot have that quality, that intensity, that fire that you had when you were 18. But that was the time to be celibate, not to be tempted by the devil. Whenever the devil tempts you, just start praying to God, repeating a mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. That's what the Tibetans do. Whenever you see a Tibetan quickly doing Om Mani Padme Hum, you can be certain that he is tempted by the devil, because that mantra is used to make the devil afraid. And the faster you do it, the faster the devil will run away. In India, there exists a small book, Hanuman Chalisa. It is a prayer to the monkey god, Hanuman, who is thought to be a celibate and a protector of all those who want to remain celibate. So all the people who want to remain celibate are worshippers of Hanuman. And this small book you can memorize very easily. They go on repeating this prayer, so Hanuman goes on protecting their celibacy, goes on protecting them from the devil who is always around, waiting for the chance to get hold of them and tempt them. Nobody is tempting you. It is simply nature, not the devil. And nature is not against you. It is all for you. In a better human society, premarital sex should be appreciated just the way it is appreciated in a few Aboriginal tribes. The reasoning is very simple. First, nature has prepared you for something. You should not be denied your natural right. If the society is not ready for you to get married, that is society's problem, not yours. The society should find some way. The Aboriginals have found the way. It is very rare that a girl gets pregnant. If a girl gets pregnant, the boy and the girl get married. There is no shame about it. There is no scandal about it. There is no condemnation about it. On the contrary, the elders bless the young couple because they have proved that they are vigorous. Nature is powerful in them. Their biology is more alive than anybody else's, but it rarely happens. What happens is that every boy and girl become trained. In Aboriginal societies I have visited, it is a rule that after the 14th year, the girl, and after the 18th, the boy, are not allowed to sleep in their houses. They have a common hall in the middle of the village where all the girls and all the boys go and sleep. Now there is no need for them to hide behind the car in the car porch. This is ugly. This is society forcing people to be thieves, deceivers, liars. And their first experiences of love have happened in such ugly situations. Hiding, afraid, guilty, knowing that it is a temptation of the devil. They cannot enjoy it when they are capable of enjoying it to its fullest and experiencing it at its peak. What I am saying is that if they had experienced it at its peak, its grip over them would have been lost. Then their whole life they would not be looking at Playboy magazines. There would be no need. And they would not be dreaming about sex, having sexual fantasies. They would not be reading third-rate novels and looking at Hollywood movies. All this is possible because they have been denied their birthright. In the Aboriginal society, they live together in the night. One rule only is told to them. Don't be with one girl more than 3 days because she is not your property. You are not her property. You have to become more acquainted with all these girls, and she has to become acquainted with all the boys before you choose your life partner. Now, this is seen to be absolutely sane. Before choosing a life partner, you should be given a chance to be acquainted with all available women, all available men. You can see all over the world that neither arranged marriage has been successful nor what you call love marriage. Both have failed, and the basic reason is that in both cases, the couple is inexperienced. The couple has not been given freedom, enough freedom to find the right person. There is no other way than through experience to find the right person. Very small things can be disturbing. Somebody's body smell may be enough to spoil your whole marriage. It is not a great thing, but it is enough. Every day, how long can you tolerate it? But to somebody else, that smell may be very fitting, may be the smell that he likes. Just let people have experience, and particularly now, when problems of pregnancy are no longer there. Those aboriginals were courageous to do it for thousands of years, and then, too, there have not been many problems. Once in a while, the girl may get pregnant, then they get married. Otherwise, there is no problem. In those tribes, there are no divorces, because, of course, once you have looked at all the women, have been with all the women of the tribe, and then you choose, now what else are you going to change? You have chosen out of experience, so in those societies there is no need. There is no question of divorce. The question has not arisen. It is not that divorce is not allowed. The very question of divorce has not arisen in those tribes. They have not thought about it. It has never been a problem. Nobody has said that they want to separate. All civilized societies suffer from marital problems because the husband and wife are almost enemies. You can call them intimate enemies, but that does not make any difference. It is better that the enemies are far away and not too intimate. If they are intimate, that means that it is a 24-hour-a-day war, continuously, day in, day out. And the simple reason is the stupid idea of these religious teachers. Beware of premarital sex. If you want to beware of marital sex, because that is where the problem is. Premarital sex is not a problem, and particularly now when all sorts of birth control methods are available. Every college, every university, every school should make it a point that every child, girl or boy, goes through all kinds of experiences, all types of people, and finally chooses. This choice will be based and rooted in knowing and understanding. But the problem for the Pope is not what the whole of humanity is suffering from marriage. That all couples are suffering from marriage, and that because of their suffering, their children start learning the ways of suffering. He is not concerned. His whole concern is that birth control methods should not be used. In fact, the Pope is not saying beware of the devil. He is saying beware of birth control methods. Real problems are not being dealt with, only unreal, bogus ones, and he goes on advising the whole world.